Have you ever considered a home-based business?
Moving forward with the DekkerTeam. Moving forward together with the DekkerTeam.
Hello, this is Ken Dekker, and I'm with Roxanne Harris today as my special guest, and we're excited to be with you and welcome you to another episode of The Inside Track, where we share tips, techniques, and tools to make your life better. And you know what? We all deserve that. You, everyone deserves to have the best life possible. And so we want to make sure that your family's included in that. So today we're going to talk about home-based businesses. And it's an interesting topic because I'm not sure whether you've actually ever had a mishap with a home-based business. And I know, Roxanne, you've had a home-based business for 14 years, you were telling me.
Yes, I have.
And how many homes did you have that business in?
We've had the business in 3 different homes.
Okay.
Yes.
And did you actually learn as you went, like how to set it up better? Was each home a better choice for your home-based business?
Absolutely. And I think that as we started looking for other properties, looking at the capacity for my home-based business was super important, right? So what amenities did it have that would lead itself to a home-based business? I had 4 children. And then as my business expanded, we also started fostering kids. So at one point, we had up to 8 children in our home. And
you are a saint.
Teenagers, I would also say.
Oh, wow.
But, you start looking at, it's not just a business, but how does the family fit into the business? And how could I protect my family from my business, right? Where people were not coming in and accessing my home, my kids, whether they're watching TV or poking each other. But what kind of amenities did the house have? Did it have a separate entrance? Did it have a separate washroom that was close to where I was going to have my business? Was it soundproof? Was the potential there to have a lovely waiting area where people could come in and feel like they were in a great space for what I was doing? Okay.
And maybe you can share a little bit about what you were doing and what you're doing.
Sure.
For your home-based business. Might as well go there.
We can. So in my home-based business, I have run a natural health care center for the past 14 years. I have a number of different degrees in natural medicine of all different types, from nutrition to homeopathy, functional medicine. I do blood microscopy as well. And
that's a big word. You're going to have to explain that one.
It's a big word. It means that I actually look at people's blood under a microscope while it's still alive. So we actually recreate a vein and we look at all of the factors and variabilities to look at why are they not feeling optimally well? Why are they not able to live the life that they've envisioned for themselves? What's holding them back? And then we look at remedies, supplements, even just protocols like sleeping or drinking water, moving their bodies in order to help them gain their wellness. And then to that, about 4 years ago, I decided to jump in with doTERRA essential oils as well. And I'm actually running 2 full-time home-based businesses out of one home.
Wow.
And it's been actually a very amazing journey. And of course, in both of those, there are different factors that you need to look at from a home-based business.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to go through a bunch of those because sometimes your home-based business was you needed basically an office or a small clinic kind of feeling, something that had privacy, both for your family, but also for your clients. They probably wanted some privacy while they were discussing their health issues or giving a little blood sample,
exactly, yes.
A little poke. I've done it at your place.
Some adults are chickens, right?
Yeah.
And they really freak out when they're poking, getting poked. And so, yeah, we don't want the kids to see that.
Exactly. So they want privacy in both ways. And the washroom, you said, is important because quite often they need to use the facilities.
For sure.
They've maybe driven
a long ways, but also drinking a lot of water. And so the water consumption, in order to get a good blood flow, they're going to be using the washroom. And one of the other factors I think that's important is parking situation, which many people maybe don't think about when they're running a home-based business, especially in some of the new subdivisions with very limited parking on the streets or in driveways.
Right. Yeah. Some of those townhomes are pretty close. There isn't enough width between units to actually park a car.
Yes.
And then when it is wider, there's a fire hydrant.
Exactly.
Gotta love that. Now, you recently went to a winery.
Yes.
2 wineries, I guess. And just tell us briefly what the experience of going, because that's really a home-based business where they've bought a bigger piece of property maybe. They've created something for the public to come into, and yet they live on site. Yes.
And so we decided there's a number of local wineries. Check them out. They're phenomenal. The first one that we went to was a lot of our friends had been talking about it. And so on a Saturday morning, we drove out there, and it was quite bizarre. We came into the yard. There were no signs anywhere. There was nobody really in sight. We could see some people that were kind of in the garage, I guess. And we got out of the car and we're like wondering where to go. And this lady comes,
even if you're at the right
if I'm
place.
in the right place.
Yeah.
And she comes out of the house with a piece of toast in her mouth and wipes her hands on her pants and says, are you here for the wine? And I'm like, yes. And then she took us to a building that I would have never had pointed out as, their customer service area, their storefront. And we went through this garage that was clearly where they were maybe bottling, fermenting, all of that kind of thing. And up this back staircase, it was fairly hidden. And it just, it was quite messy. There was a lot of debris in it. I was like, oh, okay, I need to go. And then we went to the next one.
Yeah.
It was so beautiful. So their whole property they'd set up as an oasis where you could go and you could sit on picnic tables or Adirondack chairs. And there were just beautiful ornaments and decorative things everywhere. It was very clearly marked. They had their storefront. You could go on the tour where they were bottling and making the wine. And it was just a completely different experience. You felt happy being there, restful, calm. And so it was quite a dichotomy between the two.
So they thought out what the client experience would be.
Yes.
Looked at it from the client's perspective as opposed to, how do I live at my house while I still got all these people, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's really awesome and helpful. And I think if you've got that dream for owning a business in your home, then you might want to connect with the Dekker team, and we'll talk about things like zoning and access and parking and visibility to the street and how many people maybe you need to attract to make your business viable, and all that kind of thing will be really great. And I've got a little quote from Richard Branson. He says, "A big business starts small." So, and I think even in Zechariah 4:10, it says that in the Expanded Bible, the people should not think that small beginnings are unimportant. So if you want to start a small home-based business, don't think it's unimportant. Every business started small. And we're grateful to be your partners in growing wealth through real estate.
Moving forward with the Dekker team. Moving forward together with the Dekker team.